COVID runs rampant in the Charm City. Bruce Arians and Tom Brady are at odds, and the Jets have been eliminated from the playoffs. All that and more on this episode of Unscripted. All right, how you doing out there, listener land? Welcome to the best damn fantasy podcast for your ears. I'm your host, Randal Kennedy. I'm joined, as always, by the Godfather himself, Paul Lundegaard. You can find him at Paulie Sleepers, and the chef, Jake B. Song. You can find him at the BZBFF. You can find him in the kitchen. You can call him a lot of things. Just don't call him late for dinner. How you boys doing tonight?
About spit up my drink when you said you could find him in the
kitchen. Yeah, you got me on that too. It took me a second.
Got him.
Yep.
Doing good. Just woke up from a nap.
Oh, it's funny. As soon as you said that, one of my buddies sent me a trade. He's like, "Hey, dude," he goes, "I'll give you a second round pick for Chase Claypool." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
I bet
dude.
you would.
I was like, "Of course, son of a bitch."
Oh, so you guys heard me mention that that the COVID is running rampant in Baltimore. As of this recording tonight, this is Tuesday night. They have 10 positives confirmed, 5 players and 5 staff members, most notably J.K. Dobbins. Of course, he would get the lion's share of the carries. It looks like he's going to be their lead back, and now he has COVID, which really sucks. I want to read this statement from the NFL because it's pretty contradictory, if you ask me. We will continue to monitor developments in consultation with our medical experts. Our foremost concern is the health and safety of players and coaches and game day personnel. Oh, but wait, there is no change to the game. It will be played as scheduled. I think that's complete horseshit.
I agree with you 100%. That's wild.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
There it is. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. They just want the money.
I was just thinking, we had our DeAndre Swift breakout, which Beezy and I were the week before said, go get this guy. So that worked out pretty good for us. Hashtag victory lap. Then he got his concussion. Then we've been talking all season long about them getting rid of that nasty 3 or 4-headed monster in Baltimore and giving Dobbins the lion's share, and they did, and now he has COVID. Jonathan Taylor finally broke out with some better vision and some better runs, but I don't need a concussion or COVID for my franchise rookie running back to become irrelevant. I just need Frank Reich. This week, who said, I'm sorry for you fantasy managers, but that's just how we roll. It's a direct quote.
Yeah, that he's right. They have 19 tight ends and 32 running backs, and
everything's committee.
Yeah, it's committee. Everything.
Well, even the quarterback position, because they put Brissett in there. So I was going to say except for quarterback, but that's not true either.
Wild.
Yeah, man, it's wild. You can't really argue. I mean, they're winning games.
No,
they look good. They beat the Packers Sunday, and they looked. That game was a whole lot more points than I thought there would be scored. But Vegas knows best. That was the highest over/under on the slate.
Yep,
and they nailed it.
Yeah,
that game went into overtime, did it not?
Yeah, yes, it did. Yep.
Yeah. So, and Jonathan Taylor looked probably the best he's looked all year. I think that was his most touches since week 2.
26. Yeah.
26. What do you
Third
have?
most touches, I think, for anybody on the slate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, was there an interview with him? I believe he said the game slowed down for him. Finally, I think I was watching something with him on that, and That's huge. I mean, like I said, people want these rookies to come in and just produce right from the get go. They think these running backs are just going to take off and just dominate. And it's like sometimes it takes half of a season for them to just get acclimated to their surroundings, get used to everything, and then things kind of slow down a little bit. And then they start to like show some improvements. And you see with Jonathan Taylor now, all those people that just went out and traded him for 21 firsts and whatnot, like
or less,
like woof. What are you doing? You spent capital on him. Hold on to the guy, especially in a dynasty. Like, what are you doing?
We
you got to
mentioned
do that with everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we mentioned that on this show that sometimes it just takes longer. There's a longer incubation period with some of these kids than others.
Yeah. Somebody on my timeline said, man, it's too bad about Antonio Gandy Golden. I said, what do you mean? He hasn't gotten out there. Was never for me to be a 2020 producer.
Never.
No.
He's not up there on the depth chart yet. He's not acclimated to the game. He's not ready to go. It's not a shame about him. We don't know anything about him yet. No. Did he play and flop? No.
Look at Nelson Algor.
Yeah,
boy.
I mean, taken in the first round by Chip Kelly, run out of Philadelphia, and it was assumed he just can't play. And now he's resurfaced in Oakland. What is this, like year 5?
Yeah, something like that.
What is it about these year 5 breakouts lately with these wide receivers? Devontae Parker and Breshad Perriman. Breshad Perriman is starting to look good now that he's finally healthy.
It's all about the system. It's about the systems and the coaching, man. I mean, it really is. It's like these coaches, they draft these players and they put them out there. They're not successful, so they pull them back. And I think certain teams are just really good at, figuring out what rookies or younger players are struggling with, and they help them adjust, and they teach them, they coach them, and they get the best out of their games. And then there's other teams that they can't get the best out of anybody, and it's clearly happens all over the place.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a matter of asking them to do what they do best, finding out what they do best, and asking them to do that.
It's funny. I looked him up on Sleeper to look up some stats and just grabbed a random league and pulled him up. And, of course, Beezy's got him in this league. It is his year 6. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this. He's on 2 of my dynasty waivers. People just don't want to believe that he's a thing. He's had a couple, like, nothing games, but, guys do that. His Cleveland game, 2 targets, no catches. His Denver game, 4 targets, 1 catch. But other than that, he scored 5 double-digit fantasy points in 5 out of the last 7 games. And 2 of those games were 20 points. And he has 6 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
In my league of records since week 4, he's a wide receiver 40, which you say, wide receiver 40, but in a year like this, where you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for guys, if you've got a 3 wide receiver start league, he's an every week starter. Yeah, Al Gore.
I'm pretty sure that league that you just looked at, Paulie, I picked him up off of waivers last week or the week before.
Did you just call him Al Gore?
Al Gore.
Al Gore, baby. Man Bear Pig.
Man, this dude
Man Bear Pig
is finally catching the football, and he invented the internet.
In fact, I'm calling him Man Bear Pig from now on. That's his nickname.
Man Bear Pig, dude.
Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig just light him up.
There's a Man Bear Pig on Twitter. He's a pretty good follower, actually. A pretty good follow.
Is he?
In fantasy football.
Oh, yes. Yep. No, but that, it comes to a point. Like sometimes, the names aren't sexy, man. Like, you got the Kalen Balages and the Nelson or Bear Pig and stuff like that. And, these names, people look at these names and they automatically just say dumpster and they just sit on the waivers. And you go out and you get them for $2 and you got a starter for a few weeks here. And it doesn't matter. They don't have to be on your team for 3 freaking years. You're just trying to win games week to week. So take advantage of these guys that you just got off the waivers, regardless of the situation, what they're doing. If they're producing, put them in the damn lineup. Simple.
Yeah, I'll tell you someone who people are starting to give up on, and that's Fulgham. So he had a pretty quiet game, but what people don't realize is he still got 30% of the target share. The game against Cleveland was in terrible weather. I still think he's a thing, and you saw me trade for him, Paulie, in one of your leagues there.
Yeah, for Dynasty, I love it because I don't think they're going to draft another wide receiver, and Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson, some of these guys aren't going to be around next year. I warned that, when everybody got back healthy, he would probably, slide back into the abyss a little bit, but I still like his long term. And like you said, there was a bad weather game. There was a game where he still got the targets. I like what I saw in that guy, man. He wasn't just Mr. Available. He was doing more than that. He was running good routes. So yeah,
I gave up Jerick McKinnon for him. So
yeah, that's nothing.
It's nothing. Take it all day. I think it's a mistake to give up on him. Carson Wentz is playing like crap. I mean, he looks terrible. So I mean,
he's 31st or 32nd in every metric you can name.
And he's not a bad quarterback. He's just having a really bad run here. So take advantage of the dip, man. I'm
buying the dip. I'm buying Carson Wentz everywhere.
Buy that dip, man. I'm the same exact way. I'll buy it all over the place.
Term, you are the Carson Wentz truther, and he does seem to do this and then come back and score 35 fantasy points, after people have given up on him. So, he's got a history of doing that. I don't know. That this last game was just horrible. That play that he threw up that grapefruit on the pick six, you mentioned that he got hit as he was thrown.
Yeah, he got spattered.
Well, he had to adjust his trajectory because that guy was coming at him, so he had to lob it. At that point, he should have decided not to make the throw. You don't lob an outlet pass to the running back knowing that there's secondary that's creeping. I mean, that ball was just up for grabs. It was horrible. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would think
he was being hit before he released it, which kind of caused it to be a lollipop ball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he saw that guy from the blind side or not. I don't know if he saw him. It didn't look like to me that he saw him.
Jason Peters is graded out very, very, very poorly.
Their offensive line is it's atrocious.
I saw a thread on him. He's giving up all kinds of penetration back there.
That's what she said.
He's getting worked. That doesn't bode well for any of our Fulgham shares or anybody else on that squad.
Did you guys see the Scott Fish trade that wasn't? Did you see that?
No.
Our buddy Scott Fish tweeted that someone in his league of record offered him Carson Wentz for his Jalen Hurts, and he said he turned it down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw him tweet that.
So I immediately went to my league, the only league that I own Hurts in, and offered him to the Wentz owner straight up, and I got rejected.
Right.
I tried. I really tried.
From a game theory standpoint, if you had a team that was very young, that was very much in rebuild mode with lots of picks and lots of youth, I could see holding on to Hurts. I really could. If you're not competing. Sure. It's pretty ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty ballsy.
It is. But he knows what he's doing more often than not. Okay, I want to move the chains a little bit. I want to talk about last night's game. This is Tuesday. I want to talk about Monday night's game. The Rams and the Bucks. For his part, Brady looked kind of so-so, not completing anything downfield. He's 0 for his last 19, over 20 yards. This looks like a philosophical difference between the coach and the player, in that Arians wants to run what he wants to run. He wants to go downfield, and that just doesn't suit what Tom Brady likes to do. We've seen them kind of butt heads a couple of times over AB, over waffling over whether or not they were going to trade for Gronk. And now Arians come out after the game and said that it looked like Brady was confused by some coverages.
Whoa!
Do you really think that Tom
you don't say
Brady,
that about the GOAT?
Right? Do you really think that Tom Brady was confused by anything the Rams were doing?
Man, I don't know. McVay had a really good scheme. Are they allowing Tom to check out of any of these plays, or is he just running the play that's called?
That's a good question. I haven't. I didn't watch all of that game last night, and I haven't had a chance to go back and look at it. What I saw, I didn't see him checking out a lot.
I didn't either.
It's just weird.
That's how you know if somebody knows coverages. Let him run his full meal ticket. Let him check out of the plays and call audibles based on the coverages that he sees, and not just force that deep pass. Did you say that he was 0 for 19?
He's 0 for the month. The last 4 games, he hasn't completed a pass over 20 yards.
Woof.
That's horrible, dude.
Wow.
I don't know how you trust anyone on this team, including Rojo, who could seemingly go for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns one week and not see the field the next. He clearly looks better than Leonard Fournette when he gets out there, but for some reason they keep forcing Fournette on the field.
Yeah. He even said that we got away from the running game too early, and I don't know, man. I keep going back to McVay. Hats off to him for carving up that secondary.
He outcoached Arians.
Oh, unbelievable! Kupp and Woods were just running amok. It was a great game plan. They decided that they weren't going to run the ball because Tampa Bay was tough against the run, and they shortened the field, and they pulled out all the stops on them. It was great, man. I think both of those guys got 13 targets.
I think Woods got 15.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was almost like he realized Woods was being left out because Kupp had a ton in the first half.
Yeah,
but not very much in the second half. It was like vice versa, like Woods' second half was Kupp's first half. It was like, yeah, let's make sure both of these guys eat.
Kupp had like 5 receptions on his first drive. They were just
I think Paulie tweeted out that I think it was you. Paulie tweeted out that he hit his prop on the very first drive.
He almost did, really. His player prop on Monkey Knife Fight, which I hit that game, by the way. I hit the 20, the times 20, so $5 got me 100.
Nice.
Yeah, so you pick 5 player props, and you got to hit on all of them, and I did. That's becoming my favorite bet. Shout out to Monkey Knife Fight. This will be our chance to throw in our little commercial. Use the code UND for a 50% match, or no, for a 100% match up to $50. I just got like 4 guys in my league of record to put some money in there. They're excited, but yeah, his player prop was 5.5 catches, and he had 5 on the first drive.
Wow!
I smashed the over on that.
Yeah,
but what stood out to me was McVay's game plan. Tampa Bay abandoning the run. LA abandoning the run on purpose as part of the game plan, and Tom not really having a chance to check out of his plays and call audibles. I don't know if I haven't noticed that all year, and that's been the case, but that's how the guy makes his bread and butter. You don't take, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady and say, "Hey, this is the plays that we're going to give you, and you gotta call those plays." That's not how they play football.
I was going to say real quick, from what I watched this game, Antonio Brown, 13 targets. I mean, it's crazy, but Tom wanted him for a reason, and he's kind of missing his Julian Edelman type player. The guy that keeps it short, runs those solid routes that he likes run. They know where they're going to be. And Antonio gives him that kind of player. He doesn't have to go long all the time for Brown to create opportunity. Godwin and Evans are both, just down the field guys. They want to push it. That's why they were good with Jameis. But if you're looking for this dink and dunk, it makes sense that Brown was more involved because he's keeping it shorter and he's trying to let a guy get the yak. So Antonio Brown, 10 targets last week, 13 targets this week. I mean,
he's killing Chris Godwin.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And I get it, but hey.
He's relationship George.
Yeah.
Relationship George has been allowed to infiltrate independent George, which facilitated one of my trades that I made today where I traded away Godwin. Did you guys see Evans? I know you guys saw Evans' touchdown.
Oh yeah. My God.
Mike Evans is a beast. He's a straight up beast. I don't know why they don't manufacture touches for him. Like, they don't always have to go down the field to get him the ball.
No, they don't. But that's what they like to do with him.
When he was dragging those poor souls into the end zone, at one point, his one leg was off the ground, and he had 3 guys draped on him, so he had to hop one-legged, dragging 3 grown men with him in order to dive forward and make that touchdown. It's one of the most unbelievable. That and the CD Lamb catch where he twisted his body and tracked the ball while he was falling backwards and twisting, and then realized that he had to twist in the whole opposite direction. I don't know how you could control your body when none of it's touching the ground anymore, but he whipped it around and caught that ball. Those 2 catches were the most unbelievable things I've seen in a long time.
Yep.
Andy Dalton looked pretty good Sunday. Can you trust him against the football team this weekend?
No.
Threw 3 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott looked pretty good also. Tony Pollard, I think he got the 1 carry, and it ended up going 40 yards for a touchdown.
Yep.
That's a bad Minnesota secondary. So Washington is a far cry from that. So I wouldn't expect the same output, no. But he's probably going to be serviceable.
The first game against the football team is when he got knocked out. He got his concussion.
True.
Speaking of the football team, I'm going to mention our guy, Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin passed a milestone Sunday, most receiving yards through the first 24 games of a career. Jerry Rice was number 1 with 1757. That is now Terry McLaurin with 1790.
Unbelievable, man.
I know we talk about this guy a lot, but he just broke a Jerry Rice record. So, come on.
Let's go, man.
You're talking, look at who his quarterbacks are.
I was just going to say, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, Case Keenum. I mean, Jesus, like, this kid's a superstar. He's so damn good.
Another guy we talk about a lot, Antonio Gibson, looked good too. 16 for 94 and a touchdown, 6 yards per carry. That guy has gotten you
7 for 9 in goal-to-go situations for Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, double-digit fantasy points in all but 2 of his games this year. He's a solid wide receiver too. And the elephant in the room would be Chase Young and Joe Burrow facing off, and Joe Burrow's career coming to a screeching halt with that injury. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh yeah, that was. we were.
Is it that? What's so fucking funny? Wow. We're talking about a guy that's.
You guys.
No.
You guys.
What I do.
The people watching at home are gonna be like, laughing.
What I do? There are two people watching right now.
It's funny. You called Antonio Gibson a solid wide receiver too.
Oh,
And
we
Beasley
both
and I, we both gave each other these wonky ass looks. Like, what did he just say? Like we almost didn't we couldn't believe what we heard.
Yeah.
It was just, we were laughing at each other. Basically.
No, see, that was some existential shit because everybody said he should be a wide receiver.
Right.
But he's a running back. So that was my way of saying I was trolling. I was trolling all the haters.
Here, let me
they're not even using him in the thing that he was the best at in college. They're not even using him to catch passes.
That's for McKissick.
He leads all rookie running backs in touchdowns. He's second in yards among rookie running backs, and he has 4 straight games with a touchdown. Like,
let's get back to this injury, though. Did you guys see it?
Oh, I did. I wish I didn't. I feel fucking horrible for that kid.
Said he tore his ACL, his MCL, and there were other structural damage to his meniscus. It's a 12-month recovery. So he'll likely, I would say, probably start next season on the PUP.
Yeah.
There are lots of people calling for him to sit the entire 2021 season. I don't think he'll do that. But the wolf of the day has to be the Bengals front office for the shit O-line that they surrounded their supposed franchise player with that allowed this to happen.
I don't understand why there are certain teams out there that will stack their offense, quarterback, running back, great wide receivers, but they just let the O-line, like, it's nothing. Like, it doesn't matter. Look at Cleveland last year. Now you got Cincinnati. Like, what are you doing? You're in the AFC North. You're playing against some of the best defenses in the, at least 2 out of your 8 games. You're playing Steelers. You're playing Baltimore. Like, why would you not address your O-line? Like, just
especially when you've just drafted your franchise quarterback. And it was, that's all on the offensive line. The offensive line allowed the penetration, and literally the offensive lineman that pushed the other offensive lineman into him it was just a nasty injury. I saw a lot of angles, but one of them showed it kind of pop out and pop back in again.
Yeah, it was bad, man. I
think he might miss next year. So let's look at it this way. All right. Who's going to be the placeholder? Is it going to be Ryan Finley? Is it going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick? Jameis Winston. Who's it going to be? And he gets healthy 12 months from now. So that's, week 9, week 10, week 11 next year. If they're not in the hunt,
they're not going to be in the hunt.
No.
So why trot him out there week 11, 2021?
They don't have an offensive line. They don't have a running back.
It's sad, but we might not see him play till 2022.
We might not.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
all those Superflex Burrow rookie drafts, man. Wow.
Well, him and her offered me Burrow for my DeAndre Hopkins in a Superflex league, one where I'm definitely in rebuild mode. And I said, man, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to see this guy play for maybe a year and a half. I can't do it.
Man, that's tough.
I turned it down.
That's tough.
That was just poor. I wanted to see Burrow and Herbert just keep going. Which one's better? There's been this argument, which one's better than the other, and they've both been doing so well. Obviously Herbert's got a better situation around him, I think, because he's got a better line, better weapons, I think. Nothing against Higgins.
Higgins he's about to dry up like a raindrop on an Arizona bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're man, that was some North Carolina shit. Man, if you're a rebuild, go get him for cheap. If you're in a long rebuild situation,
yep,
go get him. Go get Burrow. Tough, go get Burrow too. If you're in that long of a rebuild, I couldn't do it for Hopkins straight up. I felt like that was too much to pay. But I'm just so sad, man. I'm not a Bengals fan or anything by any means of the stretch of the imagination, but God, just that it's going to be so long before we see him again. It's so sad I'm so sad for that kid.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does. As a closet LSU fan, I was rooting for this kid hard. I only have one share of him because I didn't have any picks in any Superflex leagues, and you all know why. That's well documented. The one share I have is a one quarterback league, and I also have Daniel Jones, Tua, and Jared Goff, and Cam Newton. So he'll sit right on my bench until he comes back. I'm not trading him.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, if you can get him in a super flex league and you're like Paulie said, you're rebuilding, yeah, go do it, because our guy at the Real Adam Hutchinson, he said he expects a full recovery. So it's just not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Yep.
So it really would suck not to see him play at all next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Sure. Yeah. No, it is a possibility. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So some positive injury news. Austin Eckler is close to a return, possibly within the next couple of weeks, possibly Sunday. His practice window is opened up, 21-day window. I can't wait to see this kid with Herbert and that offense humming. Clearly, we were worried about Herbert, whether or not he drew his strength from his hair. Clearly not the case. Just ask the Jets, who have been eliminated from the postseason, by the way. And another running back coming back this week, Chris Carson, practiced in full. And I know this is a lot to digest all at once, but Raheem Mostert should also be back this week.
I'm all about this, man. I need both Mostert and Eckler back. Something fierce for quite a few of my leagues where I'm like hanging on by a thread to try to like stay in the playoff race, and getting both those guys back right now would just be enormous for a push.
More importantly, the teams need them back. So Eckler, Mostert, and Carson will be employed and used as normal as their RB1 selves. There's nobody on any of those teams that has garnered any RB1 consideration to say, okay, well, now they're gonna share or whatever. I mean, all the teams share, but I'm just saying nothing's changed. DJ Dallas and Alex Collins, and I mean, Carlos Hyde, yeah. Carlos Hyde looked pretty good.
He'll probably get 10 or so touches. I wouldn't expect him to really dent Carson, like you say. I would expect Carson to get the lion's share.
Carson will get the lion's share, but Hyde did look pretty good. All the 49er guys have been banged up and hurt. Hasty and Coleman and McKinnon. I mean, so they need Mostert. And Balaj somehow rose to the top over there, but they're not going to sit Eckler for very long over Balaj. So all these guys are going to be ready to go.
Tried.
Nothing about Christian McCaffrey, though, huh?
They're still waiting.
I mean, if he doesn't play this week, I mean, he's not playing next week because they're on a bye.
Right.
So he's been ruled out this week. I don't think you're seeing McCaffrey till week 14.
Week 14, which is your fantasy playoffs.
Fantasy playoffs.
Is there a window where they don't bring him back?
Definitely.
Yes, we talked about this. This. Yeah,
bring it up again
where we might not see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. Wheels up on the passing game for the Panthers, though. They get the Vikings this week. They're finding ways to get Curtis Samuel the ball. Joe Brady might be, man, I hate to throw this stuff around, and I know this is like week 10 of his first season. Man, he might be one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. He really understands how to utilize his guys to their fullest ability, and they look like Curtis Samuel. He's not just a gadget. He's got some nice size, and they know how to work him in. And
he's wide receiver 5 over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. And look what DJ Moore did Sunday. That He was all over the place, and
this is with PJ Walker, folks.
yeah, this was with XFL quarterback.
The one guy that didn't shine was the guy that everybody assumed would, because PJ Walker played with Robbie Anderson at Temple.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one that actually didn't have a day out of all that group. BZ, you're off the screen there, bruh.
Oh, yeah, I was sitting back for a second. My back's all screwed up.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I really like Brady. He might be one and done in Carolina, and not for a bad reason.
For a good reason.
Yeah, if you're the Jets and you got Sam Darnold and you don't know what you're doing, and you got Mims and Perriman and Crowder, and you need a running back, but he's got to be at the top of the list. He's got to be at the top of anybody's list, I would think.
My conspiracy theory is running wild as we're talking about injuries. Is Kenny Golladay holding out to prove his worth at this point? He's trending out for the Thanksgiving
He's not going to play. He's not going to play. He went from limited to out today. Yeah, that's not a good sign. What is really bad is the one who needs to be out in Detroit is the coach.
Yeah.
I don't know how they let this guy continue to coach. If I owned this team, he wouldn't coach Thanksgiving Day. And I say that because it's a short week, but what if they win the game? Then you can't fire him if he wins.
He's not getting fired this year at all.
He clearly not.
No,
clearly
so
not.
That's not a consideration.
To your point about your conspiracy theory, I cannot confirm nor deny. All I know is it sucks. I made a trade in my league of record right before, I don't know how many weeks ago it was. I'm so pissed off about this trade. I traded Pat Mahomes for Joe Mixon and Kenny Golladay.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, with the injuries, man, I could see why you did it. I mean, but injuries just got the better of that deal.
Well, it's a redraft single quarterback.
So. Yeah, so, I mean, I know. I see exactly why you did it. I mean, good push, but unfortunately, like I said, the injuries just bit you in the ass.
That's another mystery injury. Right after Coach Taylor comes out and says that it's not a major injury, they put him on IR.
Yeah, he broke his foot, dude. It's clear as day. I mean, he's been out for a few weeks already, and now they put him on IR.
Or he just has the most horrible high ankle sprain.
Well,
those can be 6-week injuries.
Every year, Mixon has missed at least 2 games because of an ankle injury. So there might be something there. It just might be something that's recurring. And now this year, he got him good. But personally, I think he broke his foot or something like that. He fractured something.
Do we see him this year?
I don't know. Why at this point? Why would you risk that?
Some of these guys, why would you even put him out there?
That's kind of the situation we're starting to fall into.
We're getting to that point where we're not going to make the playoffs, or why are we risking the health of these guys?
Mm-hmm. Paying big money.
Easy, you made a trade in a league. You traded for Joe Mixon. That didn't surprise anybody, but I couldn't believe you. You want to tell everyone who you traded away to get Mixon?
Oh, what I gave up James Robinson.
Yeah.
That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem with it. I mean, like I said, I still believe Mixon's a better back there, all around talent. I do think Cincinnati will get better. I was not expecting Joe Burrows to go down for the next year and a half. So I was expecting Burrows to be there and that offense to grow, for them to focus on the offensive line in the offseason. Because I still believe Mixon is a top 3 talent in the NFL.
But that kills you right there, man, with Burrow going down.
You think he's a top 3 talent?
I do at running back, yes. Absolutely. I think he's that talented of a running back. That's why I go so heavy on him. But, like I said.
Folks, if you don't get a chance to watch the video, Randal is searching for his eyeballs. They popped out of his skull. I think he just found one of them. Nope, that's a golf ball. Okay, no, he's got him. He's going to put his headset back on. He's got his eyes back in his skull, folks. He's ready to go. I was a little worried there.
That's hot. That's a Bo McBig Time hot sauce hot take right there.
Let's go,
Sponsored by Bo's Hot Sauce. You can find him. I don't know his Twitter handle. He's out there. Look him up. That shit's spicy. I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah, I can appreciate a truther, but also at some point you got to cut bait. So I hope you're not just. I hope you don't have take lock.
I don't have take lock, but again, look at the context of this team, and this is why I made the trade. It's a team that I ended up trading a lot of my guys away for guys that were already injured. Like, you and I made a deal for Odell and something else earlier in the year where Ertz, yes. So again, this team that I'm building now it's not really being built around the youth. It's being built more for guys coming off IR and having an opportunity next year to come back, and I'm expecting them to produce top. So, for me, it was just get whatever talent I could get, and I love James Robinson, but I'll take Mixon over him all day.
Whew.
Yeah,
I feel like the Kramer where he's like, "You just blew my mind."
Sometimes I do that, baby.
Okay. Another running back who I'm crossing my fingers. I really hope to see him out there Turkey Day. And I really want America to get a good look at this kid, and that's DeAndre Swift.
Oh, yeah. Bring him back, baby.
I hope he plays. Their offense needs him.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they managed to get shut out by the Carolina Panthers' woeful defense. This is the worst third down defense in the league, and going into the fourth quarter, the Lions hadn't converted a third down.
That's gross.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, that's really gross.
I realize Stafford is playing hurt, but come on, man, everybody's playing hurt this time of year. You got shut out by the Panthers.
That's pretty.
With an XFL quarterback.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
I'm looking for some type of update on Swift, and I don't.
He did practice today.
Yeah, but he returned to practice in a limited capacity.
So he cleared protocol.
Yes.
Oh, then he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing. I don't think you can practice until you clear protocol. So once you clear that, I think you're good to go. Even with the short week, I think he'll be fine.
I hope you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys who were injured, we saw Kyler Murray get hurt last Thursday. He landed on that. She's got an AC joint sprain of some kind. He did not practice with the team today. He threw on a side field. He was clearly favoring his arm in the game. He had a heating pad on it. He was throwing on the sideline in between series. I don't think this is anything that's going to keep him out, but I do think it might be something that caps the upside of this whole offense.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. You're right. They had the heating pad on there. He was wincing and grabbing it, and it affected his accuracy for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's something to be concerned with. He's a tough kid. He'll keep playing, but that's something to monitor.
I fully expect him to play.
Something to monitor for sure.
Yeah. Adam Thielen has been added to the COVID list. Now we don't know if he tested positive or he was within close contact of someone who had tested positive.
So actually, I just read this. He tested positive 2 days ago, but he also tested negative today. Oh. So they think there's a possibility it was a false positive. So when they'll find out more tomorrow, obviously, when they do another test. If he comes back negative, it'll probably be wheels up for him. If it comes back positive, then obviously that's what it is.
So this will be sort of similar to the Ben Roethlisberger thing, where if he tests negative every day between now and Sunday, he'll get to play.
Yes.
Another guy that had a circus catch on Sunday. Did you see that one in the end zone?
No.
Adam Thielen?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just like every week with this guy.
Somebody said, of course, he catches COVID. He catches everything.
He catches everything. I thought that was you who tweeted that.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. Okay. Take your lap on something like that, baby. That's good shit right there.
Well, it's hard to make fun of something like that. You know, my mom had it. She just got cleared today, though. She's gone back to her room, and she's a happy camper, and she's cleared of the COVID. She's 88 years old, so we were worried
for her, man. Bam.
Yeah,
brother.
And I get to see her on Thanksgiving now too.
Mama Paulie, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I kind of hesitated on it because it's not an awesome thing to make fun of, but in these trying times, we need our humor. Is the way I look.
You got to be able to laugh, man.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan thinks Deebo Samuel will return. Brandon Ayuk is on the COVID list. So hopefully Deebo gets back out there. Did I mention the Jets have been eliminated from the postseason?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did. That should be scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now. This just in. Breaking news. The Jets have been
Speaking of the scroll on the bottom of the screen, if you're watching us live, I know we didn't tweet that we were going to be live today, but thank you to Fantasy Dukes. He's a member of the Undroppables. He set this up for us, and it looks great.
It does.
Our new gig here. So it's only gonna get bigger and better from here. So hang with us, folks, because we got a lot of stuff in store.
Yeah.
But thank you, Fantasy Dukes.
Dookie.
Yes, it looks good. It's got the Monkey Knife Fight logo and the scroll on the bottom of the screen.
Where did our logo go?
I don't know. Oh, it's behind us. If I turned off all of our cameras, you'd be able to see it.
No, the one that was in the top right. Professor, edit this out, if you don't mind, please. It doesn't matter where it's at. I don't guess. We kind of went through everything kind of quick. There it is.
I could do things. I just did that.
We kind of ran through things pretty quick tonight. Was there anything that we missed on? Because we're at only like 50 minutes.
Yeah, we can talk about some shit. The waiver wire is thin, whether you're in redraft or whether you're in dynasty. But with LaMichael Pirine out, Ty Johnson might have a little bit of flex appeal with the dump off passes from Flacco. Also taking a look at. Huh?
Is Darnold supposed to be back this week?
I believe Darnold's coming back this week.
I'm just going to assume that Flacco's the quarterback there. I don't
know. He's looked better than Darnold.
Yeah, exactly. And then from the Browns, I mean, they don't have a very reliable passing attack, but it's pretty clear that Cardell Hodge is going to be the downfield guy, and he had a good day with 75 yards receiving.
What do you do with Baker Mayfield, man?
I don't know, man.
Modeling this guy back pretty hard, man. This is like a stark contrast from his rookie season. Like it's night and day what we're seeing from him.
I'm saying, man, like he needs less structure. Like he was his true self in his rookie season when he was allowed to just run abandon and run amok and play backyard ball and heave it all over the place.
And
I don't know, man.
Hugh Jackson.
It's almost like the tighter the game plan is or the game script is, the more pigeonholed he is into not being allowed to just wing it. He's like Favre, just snap the ball, let him go. I don't know. That's the way I see it, is that structure is bad for this kid. But, man, they got a hell of a running game. I've never seen an offensive lineman block three guys, but on that little pylon run where Kareem Hunt jumped up over the guys, their number 74, I can't remember who he is now. He blocked three guys on that play. like one after the other. They got a hell of an offensive lineman.
They have a hell of an offensive line. I think you're talking about Chris Hubbard, maybe.
That might have been it.
But anyway, Nick Chubb is the best pure running back in the game. I mean, he glides out there. It's kind of ridiculous. I would love to see what kind of gaudy numbers he could put up if he was a 3-down back. And it's not like he can't be that.
I'll be that.
Yeah, they just have Kareem Hunt, who is also super talented. I don't think he's better than Nick Chubb. I have a guy in my league who we argue about this all the time, and he swears up and down that Kareem Hunt is a top 5 back in the NFL and that he's better than Nick Chubb.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that kind of had that take, and they're wrong.
Yeah, I think they're super wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. They got to stop that. I love Hunt. I'm a big fan, but he's not better. Oh, let's welcome in a special guest, folks.
Oh, snap it diddly. What
Nice.
up, man?
Nice cock. For those of you who are not watching, Jax, your microphone has been muted.
Jack's muted himself, so he's
there he goes.
We have been joined by our own at Dino Game Theory. He has jumped in with us here. What's up, Scott?
What's going on, man?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I was just perusing the old StreamYard account and saw you guys were live, so I thought I'd just pop in and ring the chains, ring
My
the bell.
man.
Yeah,
what's
what's
the
the time?
timing? Because we've been kind of winding down, and we've got like 10 minutes. So happy to have you, bro. What's going on?
Well, Lord knows I can fill 10 minutes.
That's not what she said.
That's not what she said.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Oh,
All three at the same time, dude.
4 times 2.5 equals 10.
exactly right. Give me a month and I'll get to 10 minutes. Don't worry. This is why it's the best podcast on the radio or wherever they podcasts are played. I'm an old guy. I don't know where they put the podcasts anymore.
It's out in the cloud somewhere, I think.
Yeah, the clouds.
And if you watch our scroll, we got you coming up here. We're gonna talk about your little podcast right here in a minute.
Ooh,
There it is.
fantastic.
Undrafted.
Well, I'm about to go on with Jake Trowbridge or however you say his name. Me and Jake are going to go on and we'll see. You know, I'm sure he'll put me to shame. This is a great warm up, though. I mean, you know, on the mothership for a warm up is unbelievable.
Jake's a good guy.
Yeah, I like Jake a lot. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Jax, what's your biggest take from last week? We talked about, Burrow's injury. We talked about all the guys that are going to be coming back from injury, Mostert and Eckler and Carson and not Kenny Golladay and not Joe Mixon. What's your biggest take from this last week?
Well, I know, I'll step on my own podcast, but I think it's Jonathan Taylor is not dead. He played well enough for me, and he had a touchdown called back. He had 2 other big runs called back. He looked good, and I'm not saying that he's all of a sudden he's back to a top 4 startup pick or something like that. But I mean, he's certainly not dead, and I wouldn't be pouring dirt on any of these rookies: Akers, CEH, Swift, Dobbins. None of them. They've all kind of let us down a bit. None of them are league winners. Maybe Swift, but he's out with a concussion again. So yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating, because this was the 2020 class of running backs, and but I think there's a lot of reactionary, advice being given, and I would just sort of hold tight with all these guys. Or if someone's really looking to jump ship, I'd be taking in all of those top 5 backs. So JT certainly first among them.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about the runs that were called back. Nyheim Hines had a touchdown call back too.
He did.
My Colts had like 10 offensive line holding penalties. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was actually a tough game to watch. because kids, you know what I'm gonna do. It was a tough game to watch because like 10 plays in a row were like a penalty. It was like ridiculous. Right like with 2 minutes left to go in the game, they just called penalty after penalty, and it was kind of brutal. Some of them were ticky tack holding calls, and I don't know. It wasn't a very pleasurable game to watch, but hey, what are you gonna do? Your Colts win, right?
NFC North refs.
Was it really?
that my guy who's a Vikings fan, he'll tell you anytime he spells Aaron with an EI, Aaron Rodgers is on the field, he's got to have his NFC North refs.
I see. Well, I don't know much. You guys, this is like, I feel too dumb to be on this podcast. All the just so good. I love it.
It's sexy. I'll tell you that right now. That's
so
for sure.
Good. You guys are the best. I'm crashing the party. I'm loving you guys. What's going on?
Hey, where Jax, I got a question for you. Where's Joe Mixon in your dynasty running back rankings?
He's falling. That's for damn sure. I mean, he can't get on the field, and I think you guys probably shared the fact that we had a little bit of inside information about maybe them not quite doing a good job with his injury. Let's just say that, right? Am I being politically correct enough about that?
Good call.
We didn't talk about it, but yeah.
Well, I think he broke his foot.
We did. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago when I tweeted out, to make other plans that Joe Mixon's not coming back.
Right.
Yeah. But now he doesn't have Burrow. I mean, Beasy thinks he's still a top 3 back. Does he have take lock?
He sure does, but let's do this. Let's do this. Let's ask all three of you, right? We'll go right down the line. Just real quick. In Dynasty, who do you have? Joe Mixon or CEH?
CEH.
Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Easy?
Mixon.
Okay. Joe Mixon or James Robinson?
James Robinson.
Mixon.
I think they're really close for me.
They are really close, but which one are you picking?
I'd have to go James Robinson.
Yeah, it's super close. There you go. All right, so let's move further down. Joe Mixon or Kareem Hunt?
Mixon.
Hunt.
Yeah. Okay, so that means that Mixon, for me, I've got him right now at running back 15. I have him ahead of Robinson and Hunt and behind Edwards, Helaire, and Chubb. But I think that's about right. And when you start to talk about Hunt, and then I guess if you go further than that, you're talking about Chris Carson, Todd Gurley, Antonio Gibson. I don't know. Eckler's going to move up now because he's going to get active. But
give me Antonio Gibson.
Wow. Okay. See, they don't call him Terminator for nothing.
I don't want anything to do with that guy.
With Mixon.
He doesn't want anything to do with you. How's that sound?
Good.
hey, I hop on the pod. They're like, we were just getting going, so whatever. We'll just,
Oh shit.
Yep.
Dude.
Oh man.
It's been
But I think that's right. I mean, Mixon is certainly an issue for sure. I mean, he's not healthy, and he, now with Burrow out too, that offense isn't what it was going to be. I mean, this is kind of an all shit situation there in Cincinnati. Do you trust the ownership? Do you trust the coaching staff? Do you trust the offensive line? You don't have a quarterback. What is, I don't know. What are we standing on over there?
Yeah, so we touched on this earlier. It's like the wolf of the week was, how do you surround your superstar franchise quarterback with that offensive line?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's
gross.
Completely ridiculous. How can you trust the ownership? They've given you no reason to trust them.
Yeah, and I mean, and to think, I was talking to my brother earlier today, and we were talking about, you had AJ Green. He wanted out. You could have traded him last year. Forget about this year. You could have
got a second-round pick.
Even if you got a third or a fourth, you can find an offensive lineman in the top 150 picks.
Mohamed Sanu got a second-round pick.
Don't talk about that, please.
AJ Green could have got a second-round pick.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pretty wild.
It's completely ridiculous. And now he's just wasting away and will continue to further waste away under the guide of Ryan Finley, who will take over for Burrow.
My goodness, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. I mean, poor T. Higgins, man. Poor fucking T. Higgins.
Is there anybody on that offense that you're starting? Are you starting Tyler Boyd?
Tyler Boyd can probably survive.
What about Gio? Dump offs? No.
I mean, he was barely solvent in the last 2 weeks with Burrow.
I think it's really Boyd or nothing because, Higgins, is so good on the outside, but Finley's not going to be able to deliver the ball with any consistency to the outside, especially with that offensive line. Really, it's just going to be Boyd, and even that's, you're hoping and praying for Boyd. You're not like, oh, yeah, this is fine,
Yeah, it's going to be Boyd, and if he develops eyes for like Drew Sample or something,
right?
Maybe in a pinch you could start him, but I wouldn't rush I wouldn't struggle to get any of those guys into my lineup.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be starting the cornerback facing that team than the wide receivers.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
stream the defense against them.
Stream the defense against. Yep, man.
That's the Giants. Read my mind. By the way,
yeah.
Giants are actually a little frisky.
They're a little sneaky. They, who do you put? I guess would you put Bradbury on Boyd? They can't get it to the outside.
He's not going to play in the slot. He's going to play against.
Why not?
Either
just let him single up on the outside, and and then double up everything up the middle. They're just going to make him throw over the top. You know that, right? I mean, it's like that Jake Luton first play to Chark. They were obviously like, "Let's see what you got, boy," and then he was like, "Oh shit, you can throw it deep, huh?"
Yeah. So let's take that away.
Yeah, they might. I'll tell you what, guys, this is the best. It's like being at home right here. I mean, I got the boys all around me. This is fantastic.
We are at home.
We are at home, dude. This is awesome.
I mean,
the
only thing that sucks is that damn Pittsburgh sweater that Beezy over there is wearing.
Would that be 10-0, dude? Is that
nonsense?
That's a 10-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. You got them at number 1 in your rankings yet, or what?
No.
Come on.
The only reason they're 10-0 is they haven't faced the Patriots because they always lose to us.
It's gonna be fun to watch them flame out in the playoffs.
They're looking good.
The most disrespected 10-0 team I've ever seen.
It's
true.
Have you ever seen a 10-0 team not be ranked number 1?
No.
Nope.
Unless there's another undefeated team.
Yeah.
Keep on hating.
Absolutely unbelievable. I think you have to rank them number 1 at this point.
I think they're going to win again Thursday with this COVID situation impacting Baltimore. They can't practice.
Yeah, missing a lot of pieces.
Campbell and those guys probably aren't going to play again. And now with they're turning to crank up the Gus bus. Gus is a good straight line runner, but that's about it. Justice Hill for the change of pace. I think they're going to win again Thursday. I don't think the Ravens are going to beat this team.
No, but Pittsburgh already beat him before without.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Pittsburgh is looking, great the last 2 weeks, but I don't think they're going to.
Well, it's going to be one of those classic Pittsburgh-Baltimore games, though, right? It's just they hate each other. They're rough. They're tough. They play that game with. I mean, it's the most violent football game of the year is those two games, right?
Oh, yeah.
With reckless abandon.
Oh, it's so good. So those games are like 2 games for NFL players, right? Those 2 games are the equivalent of 4 NFL games for all those guys who play in those games.
You can almost hear John Facenda's voice in the background. The autumn wind is a raider.
Hey, Jax, actually, I got one for you. Deontay Johnson, my man, where's he at in your rankings?
Love Deontay Johnson.
He's got to be rising, huh?
12, what is it? 6 to midnight, baby. He's rising.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. 16 targets this week.
It's unbelievable. He's a target machine. And, I don't know all about your comparing him to Antonio Brown, but he's damn good. So here you go. Deontay Johnson or Jerry Jeudy in Dynasty?
Ooh. I'll take Deontay.
I have Deontay a spot ahead. What about you guys? Are you with me?
I have Judy three spots ahead of Deontay.
It's close, right? Deontay Johnson or Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Okay, Deontay Johnson or Cooper Kupp?
Deontay Johnson.
I'll take Deontay there.
Deontay Johnson. Well, T. Higgins has fallen. Deontay Johnson or Tyler Lockett?
Give me Deontay.
I agree. I agree. I'm moving that. I didn't adjust that yet. I'm with you. Deontay Johnson or Stephon Diggs? Obviously, Diggs.
Yeah.
Yep. Keenan Allen, Jefferson. You can't put him ahead of there. So probably right around 20, I think.
I have him 22.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jake, you need to adjust your rankings, man.
I do. Yeah, I got to get up on that, man.
Because Randall and I both have Deontay Johnson ranked ahead of you.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I got to get in there and do my thing, dude. I just got home.
This is some pretty good consistency. Jax, me and you and Randall and Nick all have him 21 to 25.
Yep. I'm moving him up a skosh here in a minute.
Tommy's got him 46.
Fucking Tommy.
So he's got to
this guy.
He's got to do something. I mean, Deontay Johnson's not the dynasty wide receiver 46. Sorry, Tommy Moe. Love your TikTok videos. Love you to death. You're sexy, but that's a little low.
Well, and a lot of times with those rankings, if you just miss a guy, like, you know, you have a guy way down, like he's got Chase Claypool way down there too, and he probably just doesn't see him. So when he's doing his rankings, he's not looking that far down and da-da-da. It's a pain in the ass, as we all know, but we definitely should call him out because, you know, why not? But, you know, I'm going to excuse him and then call him out for being a moron.
Oh, yeah, he's got to fix it. He's got Chase Claypool 126.
Yeah, he didn't see him. He doesn't actually think that, you know. Speaking of Chase Claypool, where do you guys have Chase Claypool? That's a.
I've got him right behind Deontay. I've got Deontay 21 and Chase Claypool 24. Nick's got him 23. The rest of you guys are a little lower on him than we are. This guy has 10 touchdowns in his first 10 games.
Yeah, I have Claypool 36th.
Oh, Beasley left.
Right behind Robert Woods and ahead of Brandon Ayuk.
Beasley fell asleep.
Maybe.
I think that's about right. I mean, it's hard because, you know, one game can really change things. Like, you know, Justin Jefferson goes out and has a 3-touchdown, 200-yard game, and, you know, we want to put him in the top 5, and then, you know, or whatever. You know, Claypool goes out and lays an egg, and you're like, really? I have him at 20? What am I, crazy? So
that's why I try not to move my dynasty rankings a lot every week.
Right.
Dynasty rankings, I said this on Twitter this week, they're like a new relationship. They take time.
Yeah. Well, and they are a little volatile during the season. And what's interesting is we take off season and they don't move that much, right? We kind of come up with our own ideas of what's going to happen in this case in 2021, and we sort of set them, and maybe we move guys a little bit, but there's no new data to change our rankings. Whereas during the season, there's a lot of new data. You know, the season is the data. It's the results. So, you know, you tend to be a little bit more mobile with your rankings during the season.
Reactionary.
Absolutely, right? I mean, because you also want to be accurate, and, you know, they don't stay the same from year to year. And when do they change? They really change during that season, you know, with what's going on. So, you know, it does make sense. But you don't want to be overreactionary, like you put it, Term. I mean, you know, just because a great player lays an egg, you're not going to move him down 10 spots. He's just a good player. You believe in him. He's going to stay there. AKA my JT take, which is, hey, look, you know, he's a 21-year-old rookie, as are a lot of these other guys. I'm not that worried about them having, you know, difficulty starting the season. I think, I think it's just normal, and it's not optimal. Obviously, it's not like we're all jumping up and down about J.K. Dobbins' usage, or, you know, Cam Akers' performance, or JT's, you know, decline in usage. None of those things are like, oh, this is great. But I also think in year one at 21, COVID season, yada, 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 it's acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see how they finish.
Yeah, it ain't over.
Yeah, not by a long shot.
Hey, I love you guys. I'm gonna go. I'll bust out so you guys can finish your show. I just wanted to, I couldn't help myself, as you know.
Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna wrap it up.
Peace
Hell
out.
yeah, my
brother.
man. It's good to see you, brother.
Love you, boys.
Love you, man.
All right.
Well, that was a fun, unexpected.
Interlude.
Interlube.
Interlude.
Oh, I thought you.
I know where your mind's at. All right, we got to get out of here because Beezy's got to go lube up. Yeah, man. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you guys out there enjoyed tonight's episode. Remember that all the best fantasy discussions are
Unscripted.
Unscripted.